What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at the all-new Range Rover. This is the big fella. Well, that is also a big fella. Massive dragonfly. Anywho, this is the big Range Rover, the new one, and we borrowed this P400 at Cito Motors in the Netherlands. Go check them out if you are interested in a Land Rover or a Range Rover or a Jaguar or a McLaren, Rolls-Royce, they've got it all. So today I'm going to show you around it. We're going to take a look at this car. It is quite a basic spec, this one. You can go absolutely nuts speccing this car, but I'm going to show you the spec of this car. Then we'll check out the interior as well, and we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. Now, the design of the all-new Range Rover is quite similar to the last one, but this car is a bit more rounded, it's a bit more sleek, and it's very, very clean. Now, that's both a good and a bad thing, in my opinion. Martijn and I were talking about this this morning, that it doesn't really have that squared off feel you get from Range Rovers. Usually, I mean, especially with like the L322, 2 generations ago, that was just a square box. The previous one, the 405, was a bit more round, but still had that square shape. This is super, super clean, and I do really like the look of it. I think it looks stunning, to be honest, but I also kind of miss that true Land Rover feel, that squared box feel. And you have this approach thing now, so if you approach the car, the door handle's open and you can open the car, but that also means that it's constantly locking and unlocking. So I should have turned that off. Anyway, but let me just show you the look of it. You can see it is quite round at the front. Of course, aerodynamically speaking, they also had to improve on that. I mean, fuel economy is just horrible if you have a square box. And of course, with current day, I mean, fuel prices, taxes, whatever, it just makes more sense. So you can see the rounded front end, new bumper with that lower part also including the park distance control sensors and the camera. And you get a different bumper depending on the version you have. So the SV version is a bit more sporty. This is a regular version, a P400, so it has this one. Very nice front end grille with super advanced headlights with a million mirrors in there, so you can make like gaps in the light. You know, we have seen that before, but apparently this one is super sophisticated. Wheels, we've got these 22-inch wheels, quite big. They look super small on this car. You can also go for 23s even on this car, and then we've got Scorpion Zero Pirelli tires around that, so that's an all-season tire. We still have fins on the side, just a little bit more modern. And then you can see here why this car looks so clean. There are hardly any lines on it. You know, the panels are all almost completely smooth. You just have that line here, which doesn't really line up. That one does. Okay. So that one doesn't really line up, but you can see that the door actually moves up, it curves, and then you have the door seals in here. So you actually don't see the seals, the window seals, when you stand next to it. That is part of why it looks so clean. That is really, really awesome. And then my favorite part, the rear end. I think this looks so cool. It has that classic Range Rover look, but it's very modern, and it has this super nice rear light design with this diffuse light. Apparently the LEDs are facing inward and then it's reflected back. That's why it looks so clean and diffuse. And then you have this black bar in the center, which also hides the indicators. I'll show you guys. As you can see, I think that looks absolutely awesome. That is very, very smart design. And then no fake exhaust. Very, very good. Just a regular bumper the way it should be. Just turn off those lights. I really love those indicators. I think it looks super awesome. And then of course we've got a massive boot. Now this is the short wheelbase version, so the regular wheelbase. You can also get an extra wheelbase, long wheelbase version with 20 centimeters longer wheelbase, and you can get that car with 7 seats as well for the first time in a Range Rover. Now this is like 800 liters, I think, so that is massive. When you put the seats down, the rear seats, it can go up to almost 2000 liters, I believe, which is quite large. Still have the split tailgate, of course, which is super handy for sitting on, cleaning your boots or switching your shoes or whatever. And they also included, I think this is like a backrest, right? Yeah. So that is super comfy. You can just hang out here. And you know, if you turn on some music, it will automatically send all the sound to the rear, so you can hang out, put on some music and enjoy the view. Super nice. I think you can also have like an even more luxurious version of this with like a cushion, and there are some cup holders here. Very, very smart. And then of course when you hit the button, there we go. They both close. Now it's 80% aluminium, this car, and it's lighter than before, it's stiffer than before. It's just better than before, basically. Everything has just been turned up. Rear space. This car has grown the wheelbase by 7.5 centimeters, so the rear passengers have a bit more leg room. That is very, very spacious. Super nice panoramic roof as well. Beautiful handles, leather and aluminium. Little hook. That is actually super nice, and I love these door handles. They are so sturdy. Leather, aluminium and wood everywhere. We've got the Meridian 3D sound as well, 3D surround sound. Soft close. Yep. It is very luxurious, this car. And then you sit in here, and man, these front seats are so freaking comfortable. It is insane. They are soft, supportive. I've got an armrest here. This is absolutely amazing, and the seating position is so nice as well. You just sit so nice and high up. You have a very good view of the entire car, and it doesn't feel that large, even though it is very big. So if we go here, we can go to size of the car. Yes, I know it's on. I don't need a reminder that the car is on every time. Okie doke. There we go. So it is 5 meters and 5 centimeters long. That is quite a big car. 220 width and 182 height. Now if I start it up, does that change depending on... yeah, car is at entry mode basically. So if anyway, I'm assuming that this changes depending on the ride height of the car. Not going to spend too much time on that. Now, we've also got an electronic limited slip diff. Why didn't I show you guys the engine? We're going to do that first. So let's check it out. Now this is the inline 6 supercharged and turbocharged engine. So this is the P400 with 48 volt mild hybrid technology, and that means that we've got 400 horsepower, 550 newton meters of torque. That supercharger is actually electric, and it boosts right at the start, so it's basically meant to fill out any turbo lag that you might have, and then later the twin scroll turbo kicks in and takes over basically. The 48 volt mild hybrid system is there for anti-roll bars at the front and at the rear, so that is for leveling your car. in the corners, but it also charges up from braking and then uses that to burst the electric supercharger for little boosts during driving when needed. So very, very smart. 0 to 100, 5.8 seconds, although I have to admit that I didn't get it any quicker than 6.3, I think, with launch control. It has launch control, which took me a while to figure that out. I really didn't expect it to have launch control. And then top speed is 242. But this engine actually suits this car quite well. It is buttery smooth, and I mean, it's not very fast or anything. The car weighs like 2,350 kilos, so it's quite a heavy fella. But it does really work. Okay, now another thing we've got for this Range Rover that we haven't had before is all-wheel steering. So rear wheel steering, they can steer up to 7.3 degrees, I believe. And that means that, yeah, I'm a bit far ahead. I'm actually going to make that, yeah. Okay, so I did just turn around here with a Range Rover on this little. This is quite impressive. So the turning circle is like 10.95 meters, which is less than a Mercedes A-Class. That is super, super impressive. And that's actually also more important than you might think, because this is a big car. And by making it very easy to handle, you also make it more comfortable to drive, because you're just not worried about anything. You're just driving around in your big car knowing that, you know, it will be all right. So driving, it's very, very quiet in here. We've got double glazing, a lot of insulation, of course, and we even have noise cancelling technology in here. Okay, so I just had to stop again because the GoPro overheated, so I had to cool that off. Use discount code GoProSucks in our store, autotopnl.shop, for a nice discount on a Draggy. Now, I completely forgot to show you the infotainment. I'm in a bit of a hurry to return this car. We only have it for a very short amount of time, so I'm kind of in a rush, and that made me forget a couple of things. So the infotainment looks amazing. This display is beautiful. It's curved a bit on the dash. The dash itself looks amazing. We have this beautiful steering wheel as well with aluminium. It just looks the part. Almost anything you touch feels very, very good. We still have buttons for the most important stuff. As you guys know, we love that kind of thing. So climate, your seat stuff, your volume, driving modes, everything, you still have a button for that. And then this infotainment system is actually really good. It's very simple, but very effective, and it looks amazing. You have all the most important things here. You can swipe left to right, and then you also have this menu for everything else. And I think these apps and the design of the entire thing is really, really good. I really like it. It's very clean. And then we've got a big storage area in here where we keep our GoPros. You can also get a fridge in there probably. And then cup holders here with a second storage down there. And then more storage in there. Okie doke. Full throttle on the Autobahn. What does that feel like? Let's go to dynamic. Well, as I said, it's not that fast, and when you put your foot down, that shows. But actually, it really is fast enough. You also have a V8 available, which is the new 4.4. So GoPro is freaking failing. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, Alright, so GoPro is back in the case because it's not working. I hope the speedo is big enough for you guys so you can see it. You also have a V8, 4.4 liter with 530 horsepower. That is the 50i engine from BMW. So the engine you get in an X5 M50i or an X7 M50i. That is the same engine that you can get in this car. Hybrids also available, P400e. And an all-electric version is even coming in 2024. And that should also be pretty amazing. If you have like an electric drivetrain in this car, you know, it's super silent, big power. I think that will work really well too. So noise wise, we do have a bit of wind noise, of course, because it is a massive machine. But actually tire noise and engine noise is really low. So when you're driving around normally on a normal highway or in a city, you hear almost nothing. And that is 249. I can't seem to get it to go quicker than that, so I'm just going to stop there. Maybe with this little downhill it would have done 250 on the speedo, but it is mega comfy. And just the way this car has been set up, I'm in dynamic mode right now, and that means that I do have a little bit more feedback through the body, through the suspension. We've got Bilstein dampers, air springs. It just has been set up to perfection. And even with all the stuff that's happening underneath, all the 48 volt stabilization, the four-wheel steering, everything that's happening, it feels really natural when you drive around. So that four-wheel steering, sometimes you drive a car, you get in, you turn the wheel and you think, okay, I've got four-wheel steering. But with this one, it's not that obvious. So 100 to 200 kilometers an hour, of course, we also measured that. It was 18.07. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. No one's ever going to care about that, but it's fine. That's basically it, it's fine. We are going to drive other versions of the Range Rover, of course, faster ones. But again, the smoothness of this drivetrain, well, the smoothness of this engine, I should say, it really fits the character of this car. The gearbox, the 8-speed, I'm not that impressed by that. It can feel very, very sluggish, late to respond if you want to kick down, even in sport mode and dynamic mode. The shifts can be a bit jerky sometimes. Yeah, it's not the most sophisticated gearbox actually, which is quite weird because I would expect it to be a little more smooth than it is. Now, this Autobahn run, of course, is not really what this car is made for. It's made for country luxury. So off-roading, of course, it can still do that. It's got 30 centimeters ground clearance nearly. It has a wading depth of 90 centimeters, which is the same as the new Defender. So off-roading wise, it still will have its place. It is the king of the SUVs, of course, and I mean, it should be. But it is a very, very impressive car. I just feel like with every generation they're moving away from that old school Land Rover, Range Rover feel. You know, the feeling that it can go anywhere and it won't ever feel out of place. You can take it to the countryside, take it off-roading, take it to the desert, whatever. It will do it, but then you can also take it to the opera and it will feel appropriate too. Now that last bit, more true than ever, but I do feel like the Range Rover has gotten a bit more posh, a bit more luxurious, a bit more, you know, about the style of it than about, you know, the fact that it still is a really good off-roader. I feel like moving away from that squareness, you know, it's a choice. I'm not sure if I think it's the best choice. But in here, driving wise, absolutely amazing. So I'm going to return the car quickly to Cito because they have a lot of test drives planned for this car. It is a very popular car. They can't make enough of them, I think. Prices have gone through the roof. So yeah, I'm going to bring it back quickly. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Go check out Cito Motors in Eindhoven if you're interested. Don't forget to subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video on the right or this playlist on the left. See you at the next one. Bye.